Hi guys, hope you're all well and staying safe. Just thought we'd do an art lesson today. I thought we'd come to the art gallery just to show a few of the pictures off that we've been doing. What we're going to do, we're going to look at an artist called Claude Monet. We thought we'd do this one just because we're looking at rainforests and the different wildlife out there, and he does lots of colourful pictures. So let's get on with that then. So, who was Claude Monet? Well, he was a painter born in 14th of November 1840 in Paris, so he was French. He was mainly worked with oil colours, but he also did a lot of sketches too. Now, one of his most famous ones was the water lilies with the Japanese bridge, and that is one that we're going to look at first. So, I've just printed these off. Now, if you've not got a printer, don't worry about that. You can always do a little bit of sketching and maybe look at the computer and see if you can and copy them down. So, what we're going to first do is we're going to think about creating a sketchbook page, all about little facts, all about our artist Claude Monet. Okay, now it's up to you. You can get little pictures off, you can draw them. I've got a couple of pictures here. So I've got a couple of sketches he's done, and I've actually got one with him on as well. Now, it's always good to have a picture of him on, but if you can't get that, don't worry, okay? Now, obviously, I know some people don't have printers and some people do, but like I said, if you want to get them printed off, you can. If not, you can sketch them. You can just have a little go at recreating them yourself, okay? Now, creating a sketchbook. Now, we did look at some sketchbook pages earlier on, and if we go back to what we did earlier on in year 5, we looked at Stephen Wilshire. Okay, now Stephen Wilshire, we talked about putting the pictures around, putting some little lines around. I hope you can all remember that, and making them just look at the best we can. Okay, I've just put here some bullet points just to remind us of what we needed to talk about. So let's go back to Claude Monet. Okay, so I'm going to just go and sort them into different places and think where I need them to go. So I think because this is one of his most famous pieces, the water lilies and the Japanese bridge, I think I'm going to make that prize position there. Right in the middle, at the top, we can maybe put Claude Monet up at the top. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there and just think, right, yeah, that's where I'm going to look for it. Going to get a picture of him. Maybe we're going to put Claude Monet a picture. I tell you what, we're going to put him just overlapping it a little bit there. And it doesn't matter if they overlap. You can do, you don't have to. Okay, and then I'm just going to put his sketches down here. Maybe the other way around. Yeah, that looks great. Okay, so the reason why I'm going to do it that way, I can maybe write a little bit about him, a little bit about the water lilies, and I need to find somewhere where I can get all this information from. Okay, so if you go to the website ducksters.co.uk and type in Claude Monet, you should find it. I'll put a link just below. Now, let's see if we can position this and find out where we can create our sketchbook page. So I'm just going to take a pencil. Now this is up to you. Whatever pencil you've got around, it doesn't matter. You can have some artistic pencils, some like 3Bs, 4Bs, 2Bs. There's lots of anything above HB upwards is always a good one to do when you're using sketching, because they're just that little bit softer, and it means that you can use a little bit of shading a little bit better, which is great. Okay, so I'm going to use my 3B pencil now. For the moment, it's not sharp, so I'm going to make sure I get it nice and sharp. Okay, so we're going to start with his name at the top. Now, with Claude Monet, we want to just sketch it in. Obviously, his name is quite long, so we want to make sure we don't have to squash it all in at the end. So what we're going to do is think about halfway is for his first name, and the other half for his last name. Now, we all got a cursive handwriting. We all know how to join them together. So let's start, first of all, with a capital for his first name. Let's bring that round. Now, we're just sketching this round. I'm not doing it as if I'm doing with a handwriting book. I'm doing lots of sketchy lines because I might add to these later. Okay, now this is the C. Now, I'm not going to join the C, so I'm going to bring my L. Now, I'm going to just do a little loop at the top from the L, just because I think it'll look quite nice. round into my A, round that C shape, bring it into my A, down, and then this time up into 2 parallel lines for my U. There's my U, down, up to into the C shaper again, that coat angle round into the D, up to the top, and I'm going to loop it round just because I think it'll look nice. Into my E, northeast joiner line, that's it, round into my E, and we'll do a little flick just for my E. Now there's Claude. Now we've got the Monet. Now Monet is starting with the M, so we're going to bring that down. I'm going to let it curve round there, just like me with my E. Down, up to the top, and down for my other M. Now into the O, round. Going to bring it round into my N. The N can come a little bit lower. Narrow bridge down to the bottom, northeast join line into my E. And then we're going to bring it up to a T, curve it round at the top, northeast joiner line, and cross my T. And there's my Claude Monet. And that is the start of my sketchbook. It's very easy to press on quite hard when you're writing, so try to sketch it in, do it nice and light, just in case you make a mistake, so then it's easy to remove. I don't actually use a rubber, okay? I like to see the mistakes, and if I do that, if I'm doing it lightly enough, it doesn't matter. That's why I try not to press on too much. Okay, so what I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to take my first picture. I'm going to take my picture of Claude Monet, okay? Just because it's got a picture of it, I might be able to stick that on, and then I can have a little bit about him. Now, one thing that Claude Monet has used in quite a lot of his pictures are lilies. Now, you can see a few of them in here, and you can see some in this picture as well. So he has the little lilies. So, just as a little border, I might actually just put a little bit of this bridge in. So I'm just going to do a little bit of the bridge. I'm just going to hold it down. I'm not going to stick it in just yet, because I might need to move it. And then I'm going to use this bit of a bridge just to help me. So this bit here and the banister on the railing, I'm just going to use that. So I'm just going to do a little bit down here, keeping my eye on this picture. I'm just going to bring it down. As you can notice, I'm not actually putting my fingers near the end of the pencil. I've got more range to do longer strokes with my pencil if I keep my fingers a bit further back. If I put it really close, I can only do little bits, and then that's when I start pressing on a bit too hard. Okay, so I'm going to just keep it back, keeping my picture where it is. Don't worry if it moves a little bit, that's fine. Again, I'm just looking at this bit, so I'm just bringing that round. It doesn't need to be perfect, just do the best you can do. And I'm going to bring this bit, which is this bit here, and maybe let's put this post in. So thinking at that angle, I can turn this on its side to help me. So it's coming off in a bit of an angle. We're going to have this bit here and across. So let's put our post in. Again, it doesn't need to be too accurate, so don't worry if you make a mistake. Bring this over. I'm just going to try and keep this curve with this curve, the same angle, and round. And then we've just got a little bit there that goes around my picture. Okay, you can always finish it off with the other side if you wanted to, and bring the curve down on this side. Again, doesn't need to be too accurate, but I'm not going to go all the way across because I want to do a little bit of writing here. So I'm just going to bring the post up again. And it all just takes just a little bit of patience just to draw them in. Don't rush it. Bring this over and do the best you can. Now, on the picture, the actual picture ends, so I can't actually see this bit. Now he's got some bushes here, which you could do if you wanted to. You could maybe add a little bit of colour, making sure your pencils are sharp. Just a little bit of colour around. Again, I'm just doing nice lines, different angles, backwards and forwards. I'm not pressing on, I'm not drawing leaves, not drawing circles. I'm just going just a little bit, just to add a little bit of colour. And this could just come up back a little bit. Just adding that in. Okay. Okay, so next step. I'm going to put all about Claude Monet. So let's say when he was born first. So I'm just going to write born, and we'll just put a little colon after it, and then we're going to put 14th of November, and it was 1840. You can even put underneath it was in Paris, which is France. So Claude Monet was part of an Impressionist movement, which was started in 1874 with a few other artists like Pierre Renoir and Edouard Manet. Now, he created this because he didn't like the fact that pictures were meant to be finished and completed and they all had to look the same. So he wanted to create things that kind of were just an impression of what they were meant to be, but not exactly completed all of the time. And that's why some of his pictures here, you can see that he's not put all the detail that he needs to in, because like I said, he wants to be an impression of what they are to look like, but not to be completed. So I'm just going to put part of the Impressionist movement. I'm not going to fit Impressionist there, so I'm going to just move on to the next line. Okay, so we've just got that there. So I'll just move my book over so you can see that. Now, with that, I can put some bullet points as well if I wanted to. Don't have to. I could even make them so that my bullet points look like maybe willow lilies that he uses. But it's up to you, okay? Right, because I've done that now, I'm going to put this picture just over the top because it fits that gap perfectly, okay? And I'm going to talk a little bit about this picture, okay? So this painting by Monet was one of a series of paintings. It was one that he did more to the end of his life, and together all of the paintings, as you can see here, were they were over 6 feet tall, and when they were all put together, they were nearly 300 feet long, all of the paintings together, which were fantastic, massive, huge paintings. Now, because of this, like I said, these were, if you think of it, as big as he is, or even taller. So you can see the amount of detail that he would have gone to. And close up, you might think, actually, it's not very clear what it is. But as you step back and further you go back, the clearer and easier the image is to see. Okay, so we're just going to write a little bit about this one. So this is his water lilies. With Japanese bridge. And it was part of a series of pond paintings, which he painted at his home. One fact about this is that he actually donated all these to the French art galleries in honour of the end of World War I. So they were all donated, all these paintings, which is really good of him.